Most people see Donald Trump as a billionaire, a TV star, or a former president, but few know the truth. His empire was built on a ruthless mindset, daring risks, and painful failures. Behind the golden name lies a story of grit, strategy, and a refusal to quit. Are you ready to learn what it really takes to rise to the top? In the 1960s, a young Donald Trump stood on a construction site in Brooklyn, New York, watching workers build modest apartments. At just 16, he wasn't dreaming of fame or power. He was learning the family business from his father, Fred Trump, a disciplined real estate developer. Fred built affordable homes for working-class families, a steady but unglamorous business. Young Donald absorbed every detail: how to negotiate contracts, manage costs, and spot opportunities. But deep inside, he wanted more than Brooklyn. He dreamed of a bigger stage, Manhattan, the heart of wealth and power. Donald's first lesson was simple: dream big, but master the basics first. He didn't start with skyscrapers. He started with small deals, learning the art of real estate from his father's meticulous approach. Every contract he studied, every tenant he met, every dollar he saved taught him discipline. Success doesn't come from wishing, it comes from understanding the game you're playing. By his early 20s, Donald was ready to break free. In 1971, he took control of his father's company and set his sights on Manhattan. It was a bold move. Manhattan was a different world, cutthroat, expensive, and dominated by established players. Donald was an outsider, a kid from Brooklyn with big dreams but little reputation. Yet he saw opportunity where others saw risk. In the 1970s, New York City was in crisis. Crime was high, businesses were fleeing, and the city was nearly bankrupt. Most developers avoided Manhattan, but Donald saw a chance to buy low. He targeted the crumbling Commodore Hotel near Grand Central Station, a risky bet in a decaying area. With no money of his own, he convinced banks to lend him millions and persuaded the city to give him tax breaks. His vision? Turn the old hotel into a shining Grand Hyatt. It was a gamble, but Donald's confidence won people over. In 1980, the Grand Hyatt opened, proving he could play on the big stage. Donald's success wasn't just about vision, it was about negotiation. He knew how to push, charm, and outsmart. When banks hesitated to fund the Commodore deal, he didn't beg. He presented himself as a winner, convincing them his plan was unstoppable. He negotiated with the city, contractors, and partners, always aiming to get the best deal. His rule: never show weakness. Even when he was desperate, he acted like he held all the cards. By the 1980s, Donald Trump was no longer just a developer. He was a brand. He understood that a name could be worth more than gold. He plastered Trump on everything: buildings, hotels, even a casino in Atlantic City. His projects weren't just properties, they were symbols of luxury and success. People didn't just buy a condo, they bought the Trump lifestyle. But branding wasn't just about logos, it was about perception. Donald used the media to amplify his image, giving bold interviews and staging grand events. He knew that attention was power. Whether people loved him or hated him, they talked about him, and that made his name priceless. But success doesn't last without struggle. By the late 1980s, Donald's empire was massive. Hotels, casinos, an airline, and even a yacht. He had borrowed billions to fuel his growth, believing the market would keep rising. Then the economy crashed. In 1990, his businesses were drowning in debt. His Taj Mahal casino in Atlantic City was losing millions, and banks were closing in. By 1991, Donald was on the edge of personal bankruptcy, owing $900 million. The world wrote him off. Headlines called him a failure. Friends and partners abandoned him. Yet even in his darkest moment, Donald didn't give up. He later said, "I refuse to be defeated." This was his toughest test and his greatest lesson. Instead of hiding, Donald faced his problems head-on. He negotiated with banks, convincing them to restructure his debts rather than destroy him. Why? Because he sold them on his brand's value. "If you ruin me, you lose the Trump name," he told them. It worked. The banks gave him time, and he sold assets to stay afloat. This wasn't just about survival, it was about mindset. Donald saw failure as temporary. He didn't let shame or fear stop him. Instead, he used the crisis to rethink his approach, focusing on what he did best: real estate and branding. By the late 1990s, Donald was back. He rebuilt his empire with smarter deals, focusing on high-profile projects like Trump Tower and Trump International Hotel. But his biggest move was unexpected: television. In 2004, he launched The Apprentice, a reality show that turned him into a global icon. The show wasn't just entertainment, it was a masterclass in branding. Millions saw him as the ultimate businessman, firing contestants with a single word: "You're fired." His name became synonymous with success. Donald understood the media's power better than most. He didn't just wait for attention, he created it. Every interview, every controversy, every bold statement kept him in the spotlight. He knew that in business, visibility is currency. Whether it was a new building or a TV show, he made sure the world was watching. Donald's journey was defined by risk. From buying the Commodore Hotel to launching The Apprentice, he bet big when others played it safe. But his risks weren't reckless, they were calculated. He studied markets, understood trends, and trusted his instincts. Even when he failed, he learned. His casinos collapsed, but his real estate and media ventures thrived. Risk for Donald was a tool, not a trap. What made Donald Trump's journey unique wasn't luck or money, it was his mindset. He saw opportunities where others saw obstacles. He turned his name into a global brand. He negotiated with confidence even when the odds were against him. And when he fell, he got up stronger. You don't have to agree with his choices or style to learn from his strategies. His story shows that success isn't about being perfect. It's about being relentless. You may not be born rich, but you can train your mind to think like the rich. See opportunities in chaos. Build a name that opens doors. Negotiate like your future depends on it. Take risks, but make them smart. And when life knocks you down, use failure as fuel to rise again. Donald Trump's story isn't just about money. It's about the courage to dream big and the discipline to make it real.